My mic broke again, my light broke again, and everything is broke. And the place I usually film in, I usually film in a lot of places and a lot of different houses. Wow, a lot of different houses, a lot of different houses, built places, and they are all unavailable. So I had to do a makeshift thing, and I just dragged my thingy all over the place to find this place. And okay, boy, do I have a story for you. So here I am, an innocent person scrolling through my social media stuff. And I said social media, but I don't have any social media. Albeit, I am thinking of starting an Instagram, a bookstagram, if you will. I'm thinking of starting an Instagram, but I don't know. I'm scared of social media. I was scrolling, and then a very nice person commented on one of my videos and told me if it's possible, if they can send me something they created, a book that they worked hard to create, for my very irrelevant opinion, which is stumping me. This should have happened like now, maybe 4 times, and it's stumping me every time it happens, because like I see like my videos when I edit, and I cannot think for the life of me, how can someone look at that and think, yes, this is the person that I want to represent my stuff, this is the person that I want to send my hard work and creativity and art to, so they can review it. This is the sailor that I want to review my imagination. I don't understand it, I don't understand you, but I'm very, very thankful, because it's keeping me sane. So I of course did that, and I've read it, and I am so freaking grateful that I've read it, because it is so cool. It's different than what I usually read, especially lately, the books that I've been getting into. It's very different than those, but I like it a lot. Hi, I'd like you to know that the book is called Broken Inertia, and the first chapter is called Interlinked. I had to edit that part out when I said it because of noises in the background. I could not edit around them. Yeah, so this is just my review for the first chapter and not the entire book. Okay, enjoy now the rest of the video. So this is Interlinked, written by 2 friends, and reading you a word from the author themselves. He said, "This novel is written by me and my friend, each writing a character. The name of the chapter is Interlinked, which suggests similarities between the 2 characters. The 2 MCs are quite similar in their hatred for people and even progress their respective stories in similar styles." It is a dual POV of 2 MCs. And the 2 MCs, I know my people, and the 2 MCs sort of give off a Victor Vale vibe that I love so much. So each of the 2 characters are from different worlds, and their names are Tomohiro and Kurai. It is a first-person POV for both of them, so each time we get one of the POVs, with either Tomohiro or Kurai, it's still a first person, and we get to see and know about all of their inner thoughts and inner monologue. And the one thing that they share so far is their very avid and absolute and vehement hatred for people that I sometimes agree with, if I really think about it, but other times it was like a punch in the face. So they are both young adults, or almost young adults, in school. There are so many things that I liked about this, which is why I chose to sit here and talk about it. Number 1, I love the fucking cover. I love it. It inspired me to do my own art and stuff like that. I absolutely like the cover. I like what it tells us about the story. I haven't read all of it yet. I just read a chapter and a little bit, and I like what it tells us about it, because what you see is what you expect. The first thing that I noticed is that usually with arcs and sudden works, it's a bit choppy. It's a bit, you know that this needs editing, this needs further improvements. But with this one, I actually kind of forgot that I was reading. I started reading it, and then when I finished, I don't know how it happened, but I had an instant, oh, I need to respond to the fucking author, because I forgot that I was actually beta reading an arc, and I just enjoyed myself. It feels more of an easygoing, effortless work from someone that has an actual talent for writing, rather than a choppy kind of abstract thing. I don't know if this is gonna be a spoiler or not, but I really want to tell you.
So here we are, another day from school to home, from home to school, reading about his hatred for humanity and relating to it, and then all of a sudden he starts hearing a voice. And you don't know what it is. We don't know if it's a god, if it's a demon, if it's a devil. We don't know shit about shit. And he doesn't know shit about shit. And we don't really get a full explanation at first, which I love. I was confused and he was confused, the character, he was confused and I was confused and we were all confused. And it made me very excited to just keep reading and reading and reading and reading. But basically the voice he was hearing isn't this bodily, sentient, omnipotent, omniscient being, but the voices of other people. And that is when I started losing myself in the story. That is when I was actually excited to read the story, because it made me just get sucked into it. There was something that started off as a negative point for me, which was the MC's god superiority or narcissistic behaviors or narcissistic way of thinking. However, after I read a little bit and asked the author about this, and they explained, which is so nice, so thank you so much if you watched this. That was very nice and unnecessarily sweet of you, but I really appreciated it. It changed my mind about the story and the MC, even though it wasn't a huge negative point, but still affected the way I saw the story and how I felt reading the story. It made me, when it was a very negative point, it made me want to step away from the world, but after I explained and we talked about it, it really made me excited about the story more. He's very resentful and prejudiced and hateful when it comes to the place he's in and the people he's surrounded by. And at first it read as a god complex narcissistic behavior that I hated and cringed at so much, but then after you read a little bit more and understand a little bit of the story, and it's not a lot more, the first chapter is just 30 fucking pages or something, so it's not a lot more that you have to sit through and go through 100 pages just to get a little bit of context. But no, it's very fast moving, which my brain really likes, as it tends to be very distracted, very distracted. The point where I actually related to the character and didn't feel a lot of, resentment to his own resentment is when he related to those things as well. He saw himself not a person that is above all of these things, but a person who also experiences and thinks the way other people think. Most of them came to this school just to flex that they are in it. None of them knew that this school is actually ranked 3rd and not the 1st in our country. I like that. It's a small thing, it's a simple phrase or sentence, but there's actually a lot to it. Most of them came to this school just to flex that they are in it. Speaking about his classmates, his peers, that they chose the school that they study in it because they think it is of higher value and higher education system, so they would flex that they're in it. And that is so freaking real, and people actually fucking do that. It's insane. None of them knew that this school is actually ranked 3rd and not the 1st in our country. I noticed this before with the other character, and it's fun that they're both sort of in the same rank when it comes to this. What I mean by this is their neurodiversity. They are so freaking clearly not neurotypical, and it is so amusing to pick up those things. Me, a neurodiverse person, picking up these things, these little details while reading the story is so freaking fun in small ways. So if they actually cared, they would have gone to the better schools that are not nearly as prestigious and expensive as this one. They chose this one just for the title and looks. As for me, I am absolutely the same as them. So that's a small thing that I really liked, because he's not this different thing and blah blah blah, which would have been okay to do, but just it needs to be done in a specific way that doesn't read as cringe. If a person can achieve that specific thing, then this is absolutely perfect. The wall breaks, the 4th wall breaks. I love when people do this. I love when authors do this, and I liked when it was done here because it caught me so off guard. You'd be reading and then all of a sudden you are addressed in the situation. The character is talking to you, and it's small and it is out of the woodworks. It's not something that you expect or something that you grew accustomed to with the story. It doesn't start off like that. It doesn't tell you, give you any hint that this has 4th wall breaks, but then it just puts them out of nowhere. And I like them. They make the story feel more intimate in a way. I really enjoyed the black and white thinking in both of the characters. The world isn't all white and isn't all black. We go through a very understandable reaction to something, other people, the person, the hatred for the world that they're in and the people that surround them and live and walk amongst the world that they're in, which is very relatable actually, not just personally, but in the world that we live in now. I'm not a chill person, and sometimes something on the news makes me so mad, so angry, so prejudiced, so resentful, and I can't do anything about it. And when I stepped away from the story a little bit after discussing with the author, I actually understood it. I understood the hate. I understood all of it. Sometimes I don't see the world as such a miserable place. Sometimes when I'm watching people, I notice small gestures that they do for each other. I notice the kindness which is most overlooked in this world. Mostly I just disregard it as my good side, taking over and kicking back in. Mania. But I could never deny the beauty this world can hold sometimes. Even the pretty scenes, which would just come to existence but pure coincidence. The sky painted in a puddle's reflection, or the sun's exquisite black and yellowish orange delineation of the city at sunset. How absurd this world is, how utterly rebuking, yet rarely ever gorgeous and fascinating. You know, at some point in life, I hope I find true beauty. I hope I leave all this negativity behind and finally see beauty in everything. But for now, I am what I am. That is such a relatable paragraph. Boy, sometimes I've been writing in my journal and I am so full of negative thoughts and hatred about things that I cannot change, I cannot control, that it just leaks out of me onto paper. It's kind of a more poetic way and pretentious way, because that's just what I am, than this. And it felt, I don't know, very relatable reading that and kind of eerie. I mentioned this before, but I'm always gonna mention it because representation. I have borderline personality disorder, which comes with a lot of black and white thinking, which induces splitting or leads to splitting. I forgot my English, sorry. Which leads to splitting. And Kurai has a lot, like I said, a lot of black and white thinking. And as you might have guessed, I found that very personal and dedicated to me. I always enjoy stories within stories, and it had some. Plus, it's a very, very, very cool Easter egg, because the first story we are introduced within the story is a story that actually exists in the world, and you can go ahead and look it up. It's called A Fitting Epilogue by the same author. I'm gonna link it in the description, along with where you can find the book or the first chapter. The first time I'd gone through the first chapter, I gave it a rating of 3.75 stars out of 5, but then after discussing with the author and after receiving a finalized chapter, I actually feel very comfortable rating this a 4 out of 5 stars. I honestly think that this was a perfect intertwined, I was trying to say interlinked, but I forgot to say it. Fuck. This is a perfect interlinked, Jesus. This is a perfect relationship between fiction and relating to what is happening here. Fiction you want to get lost in, but this is done in a good way. Oh my god, this is the hardest way to say what I want to say. Usually I read fiction to escape from the world and to, escapism, to escape from the world because I don't want to be here like the rest of you. But sometimes, just sometimes, there's just one specific very, very well written and well done project, art, a piece of writing that succeeds in combining, this is the word I was thinking about, succeeds in combining the words without it failing at escapism nor failing at relating to what's happening. And this is one of them. The author said that they want this to be the perfect piece of fiction, and I honestly agree to it. Of course, I have different tastes, and taste and opinion is subjective, so it differs and it's different for everyone, but honestly I think this is a story worth investing your time in. Plus a stunning author that I think you should really support because they're awesome. Sorry, authors. The end few chapters kept me 2 freaking inches from my seat. Like it kept me getting so freaking excited. It kept getting me so excited. Plus, it ended in the worst cliffhanger ever, and I love that. I love that so much because the moment I finished it, all I wanted to do was ask for more, was get more, was read more, and I think that is awesome. Awesome. And very hard to do. I've read books that I'm 100% ready to dehaul, even though I liked, because I'm really not that interested in any, oh my god, duologies, in any continuation. I forgot the freaking word, in any continuation of the story. But this one is the opposite. I think there's a lot to unpack in the story, and I'm not gonna sit here and spoil everything for you if you do plan to read it. And some Easter eggs that are so sweet and so delicately put in the story maybe deserve a second go through, a second read for you to get all the Easter eggs. I think they're very smart and very witty. Plus inclusion of the author's own personal likes and likes. Wow. The author's personal likes and dislikes really make up for a wholesome art piece. I think it has a lot to offer. Definitely deserves your support. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the links where you can find the story, find the little story that is an Easter egg, the story within the story, in the description. It's on Wattpad. You can just go ahead and read it. Other than that, I will give you more news when we get more chapters, because for now it's just this first installment, which I still think it vehemently deserves your support. But when we get more, I'll tell you about more. And maybe I'll make another video that is all freaking spoilers to analyze the story, because it has so much packed into it that it's actually bewildering how someone can pack all of that in 30 minutes. Plus the writing, I haven't talked about the writing. The writing is superior. The writing is really good. I undermined the author so much because I got arcs before by small and beginning authors that they were good, they were cute and whatever, but the writing wasn't really like this. This is really good writing. It flows. It's easy on the brain. It's easy on the eyes. It's effortless writing. This is the type of writing that makes you think that, okay, this is not a person who's trying too hard. This is an actually talented writer. And I really liked it. But for now, that's it. I'll see you next video. Bye.